Hey guys, it is week 9 of Collab UK. This week's topic is sexuality and sex. Defining my sexuality is always an interesting one because I fit under quite a few labels, so I'll give it a go and try and explain them. And then I'll talk a little bit about my feelings about sex. So, sexuality. I just find myself as panromantic with a preference for guys, but that has changed quite a bit lately. It tends to come and go, really. Now, thanks to a link that Jamie sent me, I've found another label that helps describe my sexuality quite well. It's within the confines of asexuality, and it's grey A. I'll explain a little bit about what that means. Grey A refers to people who aren't typically entirely asexual. It refers to people who do experience sexual arousal, sexual attraction towards people, but through their own personal choice don't act on those feelings. So whilst I will find myself attracted to people in a sexual way, and I will find myself aroused, I am not comfortable with following through. However, I am more comfortable with the idea of giving pleasure to someone than receiving it. I'm not comfortable with the idea of someone being sexually intimate with my body. It's just not really something that I've ever felt. And yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal, and it's not been an issue previously. So yes, I am attracted to male, female, trans. Basically, gender isn't a huge issue for me. I don't care what body someone has, I don't care how they identify. It's personality that's important to me. If they're genuine, and if I have a connection with them, the rest doesn't matter to me. I couldn't care less. I have been in relationships with males and females, and I haven't really felt that one is better than the other. I've been perfectly happy in both. So yeah, to most people who are unaware of pansexuality, I refer to myself as bisexual, just to avoid having to go into the whole detail of what pansexuality is. I say bisexual because most people get that. And I've never had any issues with coming out, really. I've never really felt a compelling need to come out in regard to my sexuality. In fact, I never formally came out to my family. I just kind of liked who I liked, and they figured it out for themselves. So with people in college, actually, I seem to give off a rather queer aura. This guy in my English class, he said, "So do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend?" And I was like, neither. And he was like, "Okay, cool." So I think he could tell that I wasn't straight. I found that amusing, but he was, they're fine with it, they don't care at all. that, yeah, it's whatever to them, you know. So sexuality, I prefer to define myself as queer. It saves me having to go on a huge long ramble. That is my sexuality, because it becomes quite a mouthful and a lot to explain. And I don't really fancy explaining it to every new person I meet. You know, it gets quite tiring. So yes, I stick with queer. As I've already mentioned, in regards to sex, I have a rather take it or leave it view on it. I don't desperately need it. I'm not desperately fond of it. From my point of view, I'll be very happy in a relationship without sex. I wouldn't miss it. It wouldn't bother me. I'd be more than happy to please my partner, and that wouldn't be an issue. But would appreciate it if it was just one way, if they didn't return the favour. I'm not entirely comfortable with that. So yeah, sex isn't highly important to me. For me, it's a low priority within any relationship. There's more important things in a relationship to me: trust, mutual respect, mutual feelings. You know, the more romantic and intimate things rather than sexual. Yeah. Not much else I can really talk about in this video, just that I'm queer. Like people regardless of what they've got or don't have in their pants, and could quite happily live without having a sex life. Yeah, that's it. Sorry about that, that was my Facebook. Anyway, I'll see you for next week's topic, and hope you all keep well. See ya.